Thank you ever so much. That was absolutely beautiful, Felicia Rose. Good morning. My name is Morgana, and I am your host this morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Tucson and to all those joining us online. We are so happy you chose to be with us today. Here at the Center for Spiritual Living Tucson, the invitation for all of us is to experience a happier life, better health, and embracing a more abundant living environment. If you're here for the first time, we have a gift for you at the greeter table as you exit the sanctuary. Please let Reverend Ronnie or a practitioner know you're here for the first time, and they'll be happy to meet with you and answer any questions you may have about today's service. For those joining us in person, please put the phones on silent or turn them off as to not disturb others during their spiritual experiences. Thank you. A few announcements. Every Sunday, we have a 20-minute meditation led by one of our practitioners in the Annex building, room 2, at 10:30 before service. All are welcome. Fellowship is held directly after service in Harmony Hall, just the other side of the wall, and it's to the right. Today is potluck, celebrating the birthdays, anniversaries, and other celebrations of the month. So please do stay after to enjoy that with us. Most of your announcements are going to be in your bulletins, in your newsletters, or online, but just a couple reminders for things that are coming up really soon. Women of Wisdom is meeting the second and fourth Tuesday of each month from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. in person in the Annex. It's room 3. If you have any questions, contact Robbie Jean. The Mastermind group is today and the 18th of May at 1:30 on Zoom. Details and more are available again in the bulletin, the newsletter, and the website. If you'd like to receive the newsletter, please see the greeter table on the way out, and they'll help you with that. Today's message is being recorded and is available on the YouTube channel. The address is in the bulletin with links to the newsletter website. So now we allow ourselves to settle into our morning. I would like to invite everyone to take a deep breath, let it out slowly, remembering we are always in sacred space. Please know that wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. Here at the Center for Spiritual Living Tucson, we believe everyone is a unique expression of the divine source. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect, and that life is our life right now. Let us now take a minute to say hello to one another and send waves and virtual hugs.
It's our time now to enter into that sacred space of honoring the flames of faith. We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony, equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness and the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of surrender to divine love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light a candle for all thoughts. That's not what it says. We light a candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them and all faith traditions unnamed in this ceremony. The final candle is the healing candle. It represents the revealing of the divinity at the core of all experiences. This is your candle for whatever is in your mind and heart that requires the light.
All right, so good morning. If you would, join me in reading our mission statement, which, it's up on the wall. The Center for Spiritual Living Tucson is an inclusive, vibrant, spiritual community focusing on personal connection through our beliefs, principles, and practices of the science of mind.
So now we're introducing a new segment of our service to sit in silent meditation for 3 minutes. So just allow yourself to get comfortable, and the sounds of the bell will bring you in and out of the 3 minutes of silence. And so join me in a moment of prayer, recognizing the infinite presence of the divine, that power, that beauty, that sacredness that is infinite, eternal, that is ever present right here, right now, in the very core of your being is God essence. You can never be separate from the power, the presence, the beauty, the love, the joy, the perfect right order, the flow of goodness, ever abundant. And so I am so grateful for this new thought teaching, this knowing of truth, of spiritual principles that live in, through, and as our life, that we can never be separate from these principles. And that in knowing these principles, we can utilize them to better our lives and the lives around us. And so I'm grateful for this spiritual community where we can live and learn, be held, and be nurtured, and be encouraged, and be loved. We are blessed by the presence of this sacred community, of this sacred celebration this morning, and all those who are here serving in such beautiful ways. I am so grateful for each and every one who is present here, knowing that God is guiding each and every moment. I release that and open to the path unfolding, and so it is. Amen.
So I'll be singing some Sanskrit words, so most of you will probably know what Maya means illusion. So this song talks about that. Forever longing, forever yearning to be released from the prison of the mind, to align with the divine, singing glory, 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 release me from the story, glory, 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 set me free. Jaya, 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 release me from the Maya. Jaya, 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 set me free. And Jaya means victory to spirit or celebration. So we're celebrating being released from the illusion, from the story we create in our mind that keeps us stuck and not in alignment. So now we'll sing it together. Glory, 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 release me from the story. Glory, 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 set me free. Jaya, 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 set me free to align with the divine. Set me free. Set me free. To align with the divine.
So beautiful. Thank you. Our spiritual thought for today: soil life. Soil life runs through the gamut, from bacteria to mammals. Some are permanent residents of the dark substance layers. Some hibernate or spend definite parts of their life cycles in underground chambers. Some freely come and go between their burrows and the upper world. In general, the effect of all this habitation of the soil is to aerate it and improve both its drainage and the penetration of water throughout the layers of plant growth. This is from Silent Spring by Rachel Carson. Please join me in saying our affirmation for today. I am grateful for the unseen forces working beneath the surface of my life that nurture my personal development and well-being.
This song eventually gets to a sing-along, but at first there's the drama that led me to that place. So. The story that we let go of, right? When I think of you, I know that all my dreams are coming true. They might not look like what I imagined them to be, but as time passes by, I've come to realize that I can't always see what I need. We're so attached to what we want, we don't know what we need. We're hanging on so tight that the rope is making our hearts bleed. Let go, let God guide you on your way. Let go, free fall. Let go, let God guide you on your way. Let go, free fall. Ang Namo Gurudev Namo. Ang Namo Gurudev. Ang Namo Gurudev Namo. Ang Namo Gurudev. Now maybe you can sing the next part with me. It's just let go, let God. what we want. We don't know what we need. We're hanging on so tight that the rope is making our hearts bleed. Let go, let God guide you on your way. Let go, free
So good morning. Okay, I have to say it. May the 4th be with you. Yes. An ode to Star Wars. So good morning. It's so wonderful to be here, and we have another month that was going by. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we're almost halfway through the year. It's crazy. So this morning, I want to address turning over the dirt in our lives. Oh, I'm sure we have piles, or we've created piles, so to speak. And so I'm going to ask you to imagine your life as a garden. And I know some of you are not gardeners. And you probably think, well, I don't plant anything because everything I plant seems to die. Well, today, everything's going to grow. Everything's going to grow in the right direction. And so what I want to bring your attention to is that over time, the soil that we create in our lives can be compacted. It can be depleted of nutrients and choked with the weeds that we love to create, as Felicia just said, with our stories. And these weeds possibly could represent our unhealthy patterns. They could also have our resentments and our fears and our denials and all things that hinder our growth and prevent us from blossoming into our full potential. We know that garden. We know that garden of those seeds that we have deeply planted, and as far as we're concerned, they're deep in the soil and we've covered them up. And that's where they stay. Or do they? How do those thoughts really support us in what we want to produce and what we want to grow and what we want to have in our lives? Turning the dirt over in our lives is the essential act of digging deep. Now breathe. Yes. Digging deep and breaking up the hardened layers. Those feelings, those things that we, as I said, have been buried very deep and we think are very safe. And what happens is those hard layers now require us to expose what lies beneath. It's not pretty work. In fact, it can get very messy, and your hands will get really dirty. Yes. And because what we find usually are rocks and tangled roots and those things that we would rather leave where they are instead of bringing them up to the surface. As I said, they're safe. And as sometimes I've said with my friends that have known me way too long, they know where the bodies are buried. And it's the same for us. We know where those emotions are. We know where all that stuff is that we have had from experience in our lives of stories. And we've said, you know what? I don't want to deal with this right now, so I'm just going to dig a big old deep rabbit hole. And I'm going to throw it in there, and I'm going to cover it up. And I know where it's at. and I can dig it up whenever I want to. I can look at it whenever I want to. And how many of us do that? No. This messiness is part of our process. And if we want to renew our lives and plant new seeds and be witness to what we have planted, yes, sounds like we're digging something up, then what we're doing is we're allowing ourselves to re-nourish our body, our minds, and most of all, our soul. You know, moving from California to Arizona, I've learned a lot about gardening. And I've realized, okay, now California is a desert, believe it or not, with all the palm trees and all the wonderful greenery that has been pretty much transplanted. You know, I love roses. And one of my favorite things to do was have this beautiful rose garden. And it was my fun. You know, I'd go out there and weed it and cut off the heads, and you know, it gave me great joy. And every single rose that I planted had meaning. It's like there's this one rose that I absolutely love. It's called hot cocoa. Yeah, it's kind of like this brownish red rose. And how many of us don't like a good hot cocoa on a cold day, right? And then there was the yellow rose that represented my grandmother. And, you know, I could go on and on. So what happened is, you know, we bought our home in Rio Rico, and I was all excited because we have this wonderful backyard. And I thought, I'm going to have my rose garden again. Yeah. So I had to go over to California for a memorial service. And while I was over there, I knew there was this rose place, and I went a little crazy. So I bought like probably 15, 16 rose bushes and brought them all back. And my husband, Charles, looked at me and he goes, "And what are you going to do with all of that?" "Plant them." "You sure you know what you're doing?" I said, "Oh, really?" You know, and he just kind of went, okay, he humored me. Well, I absolutely did the worst thing in gardening. I did not examine the soil or the region if roses would be happy. I thought, sun, water, what else do you need? Well, yes, you do need a lot. So I started planting the roses, and I was all excited, and they were all green, and they were all blooming, and then over time, they started to die. And I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? So I started digging them up and putting new soil, and digging them up and putting new soil, and they're continuing to die to the point where they all of a sudden turned brown. And I thought, what the heck? And so I thought, what did I do wrong? Isn't that funny? We go there. What was the first thing I thought? What did I do wrong? I didn't think about the elements of Rio Rico, like the soil or the water. I found out that the Rio Rico water is not good for plants. It kills them. In fact, it's got so many chemicals in it that Charles and I, in the beginning, when we were living in Tempe, we always used bottled water, or the water that you get out of the clear thing. And we started doing that in Rio Rico. When you see plants die, all of a sudden you say, okay, note to self. So anyway, it really disheartened me that I couldn't have this beautiful rose garden that I was so used to having. And I thought, well, okay. So I started digging everything up and started, thinking about it. And I thought, well, maybe there would be rain. That would save me. So I could collect the rain, and then I could bottle it or, put it in one of those big rain barrels and then use that. But the whole time that I was experiencing this, of the dying, as I said, I blamed myself. And what was I doing wrong? What was I doing wrong? Kind of like a lot of things we do in life. What am I doing wrong? I had to step back and I had to take a really good look, not just at my garden, but my mental garden. And I thought, I felt I was powerless. I didn't have the right tools. I didn't have the right information. How can I do this? How many of us feel that way in our lives at times, where we feel powerless, that we don't have the answers, we don't have the solutions to what we need to know? What is it? And was it mine to know? Oh, it's very easy. All I had to do was ask and be still and know that divine source that is within me is going to give me an answer. But what I first had to understand about this process is that something had to shift. Something had to shift within me. And sometimes, like our lives, where we acknowledge that our mental garden it's like overgrown and unhealthy, and we don't have the right soil, we don't have the right tools, and like me, I thought, oh, it'll all just go away. The winds will take it all away, and I won't have to deal with it anymore. But yet, as brown as it was, it all sat there looking at me. And I thought, So what I had to do is I had to recognize that it wasn't about what was going on in the surface. The issue within me, reflective in my plants, was going deeper. It was affecting the roots. And so I blamed that soil, as I just all told you, and I went and I got bags of new soil. That fixes everything, right? And I took the old plants out, put new plants in, which is basically like a new idea, but old consciousness. Yeah. But they all still withered, even in that new soil. Because I had not shifted my consciousness into possibility that I was still in the what if, and what if this doesn't work? And it didn't. Albert Einstein, he said, we cannot solve a problem with the same thinking we used when we created it. Yes. So if we're still holding on to that same consciousness and trying to fix our problem, might not work too well. So I opened up these new bags, but I still wasn't allowing Source, Spirit, to help me fertilize and nurture what I wanted to grow. In my mind, those bags were still closed. But also in my mind, I saw them as open. I was open. I was open to new possibilities. I was open to being able to create a whole new garden with new soil. But by opening, or when I wanted to open to, my consciousness, to saying yes, to know that this time everything I did was going to spiritually align and nourish what I knew to be true. I could, without a doubt, know with conviction my new rose bushes were going to take root. Yes. Yes. I knew that. And the same is for anything that we want in our lives. When we get rid of all of that old stuff and we firmly plant ourselves in conviction of, yes, yes, this or something better, something will take root and something will grow. Because what I understand and what I'd like to pass on to all of you, it's about consciousness. You know, when we open our mind to the possibilities of greater source, which is God, right here, it is our nourishment and our healing for whatever is current in our life. There's so many times where we see things in our life dying, and we say, how can I fix this? We're codependent with ourselves. Yet the first step is to go within. That's where the love lives. And that's where the seeds are planted, and that's where the energy is. So how do we start? Well, like all good gardeners, we pick up our tools. And the wonderful thing about science of mind, religious science, is that we have spiritual tools to weed through our garden of negativity. And so what we do is we pick up our shovels and our picks or whatever it is, and we make a conscious choice to begin work of turning over the soil, trusting that a higher power will guide and assist us in this process. It will. We don't have to just say, oh, I hope, and put doubt on it. We know without a doubt that there is this amazing energy, amazing energy of love and divine guidance that works in us, through us, and wants the highest good for us. Yes. Yes. This is where we really start digging in, when we call upon our inner self, our divine self. This is when we examine the soil more closely, and we identify the rocks of our character defects, and the tangled roots, and the past, and the present, and the future, and whatever else story we want to use, and especially those stubborn weeds of thought and resentment. And of course, we can't leave out the fear. This all requires courage and honesty to face what we have planted. And now we are willing to say, I'm done. I feel supported, I feel loved, and I know that when I unearth all of this and a lot more than what I bargained for, I know that the divine is right within me and love carries me forward. Yes. We begin to dig deeper into what we believe about ourselves and the world we live in. That's part of it. And the shovel. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes I need a pickaxe for the layers that I've built in my life. And we pick and we pick and we allow those things to just fall. Just free fall. To crumble. And as we pick and they crumble and we watch them fall and we go, oh, I remember that. Oh, yeah, that doesn't serve me anymore. Push it away. Knowing that I'm okay. That we're always okay. You know, Ernest Holmes said, any meaningful change must begin with recognizing and letting go of what entraps us. And we do know what it is. It's in the dirt. It's in the soil. And it is very often difficult for us to admit that. But as soon as we do, the soil gets a little clearer. You know, this bringing, all this stuff into the, unearthed debris, it actually is bringing it into the light. And as I said, that inner work begins with our divine self, which is love. And when we are in this beautiful position of love, we know that whatever it is that's coming within us or out here, is for us. That divine self is never against us. We are not victims. As I say, we're possibilitarians. It is our process to begin to release every bit of things that have stuck to us. I'm sure many of you have been in the dirt and you have gloves and then you get knee pads or whatever, and you've noticed that even though you're trying to stay clean, you do get a little dirt that sticks on you. And this is also part of the stuff that sticks to us, is part of the relationships we have in our world. And cleaning up those, and cleaning up the relationship with ourselves. When we loosen our grip on the unwanted elements we've uncovered, oh my gosh, we become willing to let go of the patterns and the beliefs and what's been hindering our growth. We do. As we say, we don't say just let go and let God for a reason. It's that divine self that we're calling to. We're saying, let go and let that divine self within you free. Free to love yourself. Free to love your life. It's trusting. Trust is always a big thing. It's trusting the gardener which is God, will take it and use it for your growth, for your spiritual growth in a loving, Christ-like way. This is basically our active request for the divine assistance in clearing the remaining obstacles. Is yes, it's okay to say, divine self, source of all that is, universe, I'm not getting it. I'm asking for guidance. So I know that I have to be still and know and be patient and trust all that is and all that will be that is aligning for my higher good. We live in an instant gratification world. Sometimes the divine self and the source here takes a little time. And we often wonder why. It's because all the things that are conspiring for us take time for us to know. What happens is we gather things that go, oh, yes, this is the peace I was looking for. Oh, now I understand. Now I understand why I had to experience that. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is when we also acknowledge where our limitations came from. And sometimes for us, admitting that we put those blocks up and why we put those blocks up, yes, are part of weeding through the garden. But I can assure you, you're going to be okay. This process of identifying, the areas where our overgrown garden has encroached, our lives and sometimes others as well. It is the process of where dirt can fly. I don't know about all of you, but dirt can fly pretty well. Have you ever seen a dog kick up dirt? Or a rabbit or, an animal? Yes. We kick our dirt up and yet it falls and it settles, just like our life. When this happens, this is our time to cultivate healing. The healing of our hearts and then our minds. You know, so many people go, well, when I heal my mind, I'm good. Actually, you start here first. And then you travel upward. Why? Why do we start with the heart? Because that's where our feelings are, and that's where the light of love and that divine source is. Healing the stuff that's in the mind, that's easy. We can all do that. But yet, going to the heart, that divine center, is where it all is. So the active work in our lives becomes the tending of our life's garden, the thoughts and the ideas. So once we have processed it in the heart and through the divine self, then we allow ourselves, or actually what starts to happen is we have new thoughts, we have new ideas. And now we're able to plant the seeds of repair and responsibility, and we can carefully and thoughtfully work at harmony and balance. Oh my gosh, think about that. Having harmony and balance in our lives. Yes, it is achievable, even though the outside world and the media tell us right now that we can't have it. Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Our lives become an ongoing practice of tending our mental garden and our heart garden. Heart always first. We regularly check the soil, and we look for the new weeds, and we address them before they take root. We maintain an awareness of our actions and promptly address the negative that might be present. And oh, that negative weed just loves to weed itself in there. And it's so easy to do. Creating affirmations to shift our consciousness is a suggestion that I invite you to. That when we can turn something that appears to be negative into a positive, we can say, yes, that doesn't support me, but this does. And I know this to be true. I know this is what it is right here and right now. It cannot be any other. This is my truth. This, the being the truth, is your fertilizer that continually nourishes your mental, spiritual soil. And so we seek guidance and strength from higher power all the time, 365, 24/7. And it is our invitation to maintain a healthy mind, a healthy body, and a healthy soul. You know, it makes me think about an old rhyme. What was it? Mary, Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow? How does your garden grow? And pretty, right, exactly. Let's see, silver bells and cockle shells and pretty maids all in a row, something like that. Yes, yes. So what are your cockle shells? And what are your silver bells? And what are your people all in a row that support you? You know, and when we are, just a little hint, when we are in our right mind and we begin to grow and blossom, you know, into a new consciousness and a new experience of life, oh boy, hold on. Because we are diligent, because we have turned over and started nurturing ourselves. We now bear fruit and share the seeds of our experience with others. Can you imagine walking into a room of like, and all of a sudden you say, you know, guys, girls, people, I had the most amazing experience. And you might go, really? What did you do? Most people want to know how to fix things. Most people especially want to know how to fix their lives, and it's all so very easy. It's just getting the weeds out of the brain. So we enrich the soil around us when we allow ourselves to share our stories and things that, like all good gardeners, we love to share our recipes for fertilizer or, oh yes, you have aphids on your roses? Joy and water. Yes, joy and water. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't poison anything, it just merely tells the aphids they're not allowed to rest on your roses. So those are things, those are recipes of life that we share with each other. We rich in each other's soil. And what happens is then we continue to cultivate the principles of our lives. So the garden and the dirt today have basically been a metaphor of all the components that we as metaphysicians use for life. Turning over the dirt might be challenging, but it's the essential first steps in creating a fertile ground for more health and more vibrant life. Yes. So just as a well-tended garden yields beautiful blooms, which I know you all are beautiful blooms, so too can our lives flourish when we are willing to do the deep work of transformation. Remember, it's all an inside job. Yes. And so it is. And so I invite us all in this moment to think about the gardens that we plant, to think about the soil as we prepare for the good, for the supportive, for the love, for all that is going to grow within us, that supports us. And I know that as we leave here today, as we go to our greenhouses of spiritual practice, wherever that is, we know that God is right where we are. We live in love. We live in fertile soil, knowing that divine presence is always being creative, is always planting ideas that I know come to fruition for each and every one of us. And so we leave here today knowing, embracing the seeds that will support our lives, our hearts, and all that is good, and all that is God. And for this and so much more, I just say thank you. Thank you. And so it is. Amen.
That made me think of many other songs than the one I planned. But I think I am going to just stick with the one that I did plan. This is a beautiful song by my dear friend David Hummingbird. Take a walk in the forest, breathe in the air from the trees, see the beauty around you in perfect harmony. The birds, they are singing fragrance fills my mind with wonder, and I must tell you that I love you. Deep green forest, laughing water, we love you. Oh, magic of nature, the balance of life is a deep mystery, but for those who love the earth, it's easy to see. From a tiny blade of grass to the mighty bear, we're all one family. And for those who care and love her, she'll always touch you with the magic of nature. Deep green forest, laughing water, we love you. Oh, magic of nature. We love you. High upon the mountain, it's where I long to go. Well, high upon the mountain, to purify my soul with the magic of nature as my spirit guide. With the magic of nature, I'll spread my hot wings and fly into the spirit high above earth's strife, and I'll return like a teardrop falling from the eye of so let's circle the earth with a billion prayers that good changes will happen and peace will live here. We pray for Mother Earth and that life will survive. But for that to happen, some of us may die, but we'll remember you as we return to you, and we'll forever be a part of you, the magic of nature. Deep green forest, laughing water, we love you. Oh, magic of nature.
Right to the point, because I know we're running over. I just want to say thank you all for being here this morning And that as you leave, there's a little basket, not a little basket, it's a big basket. Catch everything for donations. And I just want to say thank you all for the support and the love that we bring each other every single Sunday. And may the 4th be with you. Yes. So let us all just say this together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. Yes. Felicia?
When the darkness comes and I cannot see the sun, pain is gripping tight like a viper in the night. It's hard to remember who we are. We are all children of God, no matter how old we are. I am, I am. I am, I am. I am, I am a child of God. So easy, sing it with me. I am, I am. I am, I am. I am, I am a child of God. I am, I am. I am, I am. I am, I am the child of God. Keep singing. When the darkness comes, and I cannot see the sun, I am, the child of God. Only love is welcome here. I am, I am. I am, I am the child of God. Only love is welcome. I am, I am. I am, I am. I am, I am a child of God. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for doing all the music today. And so let's stand up together and say these words. I recognize the divine in me. I recognize the divine in you. I recognize the divine in all that I see. I recognize the divine in you and me. Thank you, Spirit. And so it is. Don't forget there's a potluck and have an awesome weekend. I love you.